Hi, and welcome to a video with me, Andrea. Everest is just at swim class today with Colin, so I figured I'd film a short video. I haven't really posted much this pregnancy because life is a lot busier than it was with my first pregnancy. And I also think that it's just not been as I don't know, eventful and exciting because I've been through a lot of this before, but it's been a very different pregnancy, and I'm just getting to the end of it now, and I wanted to share kind of some of the emotions that I'm feeling and physical stuff and whatever. So, as you know, if you've watched some of my other videos with Everest, I went 2 full weeks past my due date, so I went all the way to 42 weeks. And I'm really not interested in doing that again with this pregnancy. So we're kind of taking a more proactive approach to not going that far past my due date by doing some acupuncture for cervical ripening. There's a little bit of research about that. I'm eating lots of dates because there's research that eating dates can help with cervical ripening. Just little things here and there. We're going to start stretch and sweeps a little bit earlier, like at 38 weeks rather than 40 weeks, which cumulatively might help with getting labor started. This pregnancy has been the total opposite of my pregnancy with Everest in many ways. I'm feeling really good. I'm energetic. I'm working out. But now that I'm starting to get to the end of it, I'm definitely feeling less great. I'm noticing that I'm starting to swell in my face a bit, my nose, and my back is hurting just a bit more, and I'm not sleeping very well, which just started at 36 and a half weeks. I just started struggling with sleep. Prior to that, I was sleeping really well, and I was oh my gosh, maybe this will be how I go all the way to birth. But now I'm waking up a lot, uncomfortable, and just really, really, really hormonal. I'm feeling a lot of feelings. Everest has been our world for so long now, and the idea of adding a child to our family is becoming this imminent reality, and it's sad in a lot of ways to think about that, because Everest just is such a special kid in so many ways, and the idea of having to split my energy between her and somewhere else, this person, kind of bums me out in a way. I'm obviously so excited to see her grow as a person and as a sibling, but I'm also nervous for how she will feel, and I'm very sensitive to her feelings about having her mom and dad spending attention on another sibling, and I just want her to know how important she is to us and how that doesn't change. I still haven't met this person, and so it's hard for me to understand how my love will grow. I know from experience with other parents that it will, and I'll love this baby. But right now, it's kind of how could I possibly love another kid as much as I love Everest? It just doesn't seem physically possible, because the love I have for Everest is just so intense and all-consuming that I just can't imagine how I can do that, more of that, and grow that. It feels like it has to split, but I don't think it will. It just feels that way now. And I can sense Everest is really struggling with the change that's happening, and people are always asking her oh, are you excited to meet your brother or sister, or do you want a brother or sister, because we don't know the sex, and so everyone's so obsessed with the sex of the baby. It's not fun for me, because like people will be like, do you know what you're having? And I'm like, oh, I'm having a baby, haha. And they're like, no, or do you know if you're having a boy or a girl? And I'm like, no, we are not finding out. And they're like, oh, well, I hope you have a boy, so you have one of each. Or like, oh, I hope you have a sister, a girl, so this, you don't have to buy all new clothes and all new toys. And I'm just like so sick of society's like view on gender and sex and like the obsession with like putting kids in this binary. It really irks me. But anyway, so she's just kind of getting a little bit annoyed with all the questions about baby, because like it's, you know, she's 3.5. Like, no, she's like, yeah, she's excited, but like, what do people expect of her? You know, it's just a little bit ridiculous in some ways. So I don't know. And lots of comments on my body about the shape of my stomach and how I've gained less weight than than last time. And like, I know people mean well when they're like, oh my God, like you look so much better than you did with your last pregnancy, and I'm so glad you didn't put on that weight again, and blah, blah, blah. And I know people mean well, but like, it's just uncomfortable for me. And I feel like there's this like perception that like last pregnancy I was lazy and this pregnancy I wasn't, which isn't the case. Like, they were just different pregnancies. In my last pregnancy, I had way more joint problems. I had way stronger food aversions, and like just things were different. I was way more exhausted, and like all these things added up to me only really being able to do like swimming and walking, which was still great exercise. Whereas like this pregnancy, I've had energy, my joints have felt good. I've like just been lucky to be able to do what I've been doing, which is like basically keeping up with my workouts pretty well. And so I just feel like a lot of people think it's all about you and making excuses and this and that, but like it's really just luck of the draw, the pregnancy that you get. And so yeah, so I'm hoping to have a home birth this time around, but I am, not really fixated on a birth plan. I'm just kind of like, whatever happens, happens. Like, you can't control this. But like, yeah, it would be nice if we could stay at home. It would be nice if it was like a shorter birth, because my birth with Everest was quite long. And I know everyone says, well, like generally the second birth is much shorter, and that's true. It is generally much shorter, but you just don't know what's going to happen, So my hope is, yeah, to have a home birth, to have Everest present, to have a shorter labor, and to not go past 42 weeks. Those are my hopes, but you can't really control life with hope, right? So I'm just kind of doing my best to like survive these last 3 weeks. The end of pregnancy is very tough emotionally and physically. I'm just doing my best to take it day by day. The baby's moving a lot, and I'm very excited to introduce them to you and to tell you the name that we have picked out, which I think is like one of the most beautifully unique names I've ever heard. I'm really excited to share that with you. And I'll give you a quick peek at my bump. Little baby in there. Boop. Yeah. So we'll see what happens these next few weeks. And I think probably the next thing I'll share is my birth story, because I don't know what else I'd update other than that. I'm hoping to get a lot of footage of this birth and then potentially send it to a video editor to edit it into a nice video for me, so that when I share my birth story, it will be like more visual than just me kind of telling you what happened. So I'm hoping to film it and share it with you. Anyway, I hope you have a great day. This is just a ramble. What can I say?